This week on The Facts, a fire on Tuesday left 30 people homeless and businesses out of commission.
And students at Dalhousie spent some quality time with Liberal leader Michael Ignatieff.
You're watching The Facts Online from our TV News Workshop at the University of King's College. It's Thursday, January 14th, and I'm your host, Kim Hutchison.
And I'm Chris Muise. A fire broke out on South Street Tuesday morning. Restaurants and homes suffered thousands of dollars worth of damage, and Kim was there.
Firefighters were hard at work Tuesday morning, putting out a blaze that started on South Street just after 8 a.m. The fire caused damage to popular restaurants, including Tomasino's, Tai Chin, and Cafe Chianti. Jan Wicca owned the building for 20 years and still runs Cafe Chianti. When we spoke to him at 9 a.m., he was still trying to absorb what was happening.
Not really, no. I came to work like I always do at 8 o'clock, 8:15 in the morning, and fire trucks met me at the front door, and because of the great panic, nobody had time to talk to me yet. So what I can see, a second or third floor got caught on fire, and I'm not sure how affected it is downstairs, but I'm sure there'll be a lot of water damage.
Businesses certainly weren't the only concern, though. There are apartments on the upper levels of the building. No one was injured, but 30 residents were forced to evacuate. Guido Kerpel is the manager of the Halifax Westin and lent a helping hand.
When a neighbor is in need, you help. And so that's really our involvement. They're homeless, at least for tonight, given the smoke and fire at their residence. And so we're putting them up at the hotel. We're looking after that for them, as well as we have some coffee and sandwiches organized for the residents.
The fire is under investigation, and the extent of the damages is currently unknown. But bystanders like Richard Parsons hope everything gets back on track soon.
And it's really, really thick wood. So you use a lot of thicker beams, things like that, and that looks a lot like why it's going to have a hard time putting it out. It's very beautiful in there. Well, it was very beautiful in there. As of now, I don't know. I'll have to let you know when I get back in there if I do.
For The Facts, I'm Kim Hutchison.
On the same morning as the fire, downtown also got a new skating rink, but not in a good way. Around 5 a.m., a snowblower plowed into a fire hydrant at Prince and Argyle. Backed up water caused a buildup of pressure underground. It ruptured the pavement in two places between Argyle and Grafton. A crack the length of 2 cars had to be filled with gravel. Water cascaded down Prince Street and froze. The city was hard at work melting the ice, but the road won't be fully repaired until next month.
And Dalhousie University will have police officers and firefighters on speed dial as it undergoes a major task. It's disassembling, now get this, a nuclear reactor, and it's called the Slowpoke. The reactor is buried here, under the Life Sciences building. The university will take it apart over the next 2 years. The project came up at the president's annual meeting this week, and the Director of Health and Safety says the university has to be extra careful.
It'll be completely safe, no contamination, no dose remaining. Everything will be checked. I can tell you on the way out, as the job is finished, dose rate measurements are taken from every square meter of the facility, as are contamination checks. So there are very careful checks to make sure that everything is clean as we leave the building.
This is only the second time a nuclear reactor has been taken apart in Canada.
Liberal leader Michael Ignatieff kicked off his cross-Canada tour of universities and colleges last Monday. He asked students at Dalhousie what they think Canada should look like when it turns 150. Eric Leclerc has more on this story.
If politics is the art of the possible, then these Dalhousie students were hoping it was possible to meet Michael Ignatieff and to get their hands on some Liberal swag. Over 300 people crowded into the auditorium to listen to him and to raise questions. Wow. Ignatieff covered many topics about where he thinks the country is headed.
And we're in a new world, and it's hard to put our fingers around that world, get a sense of it. But
He painted a picture of what the new economy would look like.
Is that we used to have the advantage of living next door to the most dynamic market in the world, the United States, and now the most dynamic markets in the world are China, India.
Once the Q&A was over, Ignatieff faced the press and questions about what the Liberals would be doing when they returned to Ottawa this month.
We'll be holding hearings with other parties on the detainee issue, and so I think that way Canadians will feel at least one party's trying to do its job.
Others were also unhappy with the Prime Minister.
Like Ignatieff mentioned, it's a gamble that he's betting on Canadians not understanding political knowledge, but I don't think it's working, and I think it's horrible, and I hope he pays for it come next election.
But it wasn't all political shop talk. Ignatieff was presented with a token of appreciation before he left for Concordia. For The Facts, I'm Eric Leclerc.
A local hip-hop artist invited his fans to be part of his new music video, Oh Canada. Hundreds of fans were decked out in red and white, and The Fact says Hale was there to see some Canadian spirit.
If there wasn't snow on the ground, you might have thought it was Canada Day. Fans of the rapper Classified went downtown, decked out in their distinctly Canadian costumes.
We made them!
Really?
Yeah! The lyrics from the song.
They were extras in Classified's new music video, Oh Canada, a mashup of the national anthem. Many people were simply enjoying the chance to show off their patriotism.
Bring it on, drop the puck.
Some were concerned about the current state of national pride.
It's kind of the time where democracy is at an all-time low, and we've kind of made a fool of ourselves in the international community. So as much as I want to say I'm a proud Canadian, I'm finding it harder and harder every day.
So it's pretty interesting that Classified has chosen this theme, because he's clearly proud of Canada, but I'm interested that all these people came out today because, again, democracy is at an all-time low, and the government's not doing much to represent us, so it's interesting.
Despite getting fewer than the 1,000 extras he had hoped for, Classified thinks that Canadian pride is still running strong.
Take a look. Proof is in the pudding.
So for today at least, people are willing to come out and show their patriotism. For The Facts, I'm Hale.
Students here at The Facts have been working on short video assignments.
And here's just a sample of some of our hard work. machines with minds of their own have crept their way into the city. Our reporter Wallis Snowdon takes a look at a new art exhibit.
A new exhibit at the Art Gallery of Nova Scotia is making art more interactive. Each of these pieces or exhibits require a viewer to function. We spoke with the chief curator, Sarah Fillmore, who told us more about the artist and the message he's trying to convey.
It's a collection of work that deals, it's a lot of sound work, a lot of sculptural installations that are triggered by the viewer.
Fillmore says the exhibit is about inviting people to enjoy the beauty of everyday objects, but some people question whether this kind of art has a place in a gallery. Fillmore disagrees.
I love that this show will expand the notion of art. I've had a question of whether it should be shown in a more technical setting, a science center. But Jean-Pierre Gaultier is a trained artist. He's got an MFA, he's a sculptor, and he's really allowing us to show how far artists push the bounds and how they create these beautiful objects and installations from increasingly non-traditional materials.
Machines at Play runs until March 15th. For The Facts, I'm Wallis Snowdon.
Sometimes you can find art in a gallery, or sometimes in a bus shelter. Chris Muise was also on the art beat this week, and he saw mysterious works hanging around downtown.
If you stood in the cold waiting for a bus earlier this week, you may have seen some of these. Origami cranes hung from the ceilings of bus shelters across Halifax. Each set of cranes comes with a note that says, "Even the smallest things can make us feel connected." I asked some waiting commuters what they thought of the cranes.
Well, I think it's an innovative project and gets kind of people talking about what it might be for, or kind of creates dialogue, which I think is a really good way to get people talking about stuff.
I think it really brightens up the place and gives people a chance to show off their talents.
Yeah, I think they are cool. They look like Japanese paper craft origami to me. And yeah, I like them. They are pretty, and I hope nobody destroys them.
So we weren't able to find out exactly who put these cranes up and why they picked this bus stop, but what we did find out is just what the crane means to Japanese culture. Freddie Ballesteros owns the Ikebana store on Quinpool Road. He says the crane symbolizes long life and hope in Japanese culture.
Mythically, they're believed to live for 1,000 years, so they signify a long life. That's why you see a lot of crane symbolism in the new year, for example.
We haven't yet solved the mystery of the origami cranes at bus stations, but when we do, rest assured, we'll tell you all about it at thefacts.wordpress.com. For The Facts, I'm Chris Muise.
And if you know who the mysterious artist might be, write us at thefacts@gmail.com.
Well, that's it for tonight's show. Please join us next Thursday on Eastlink TV at 7:30.
Thanks for watching and have a great week.